butternut squash soup. I love when a recipe comes together. We have the butternut squash that we roasted. We have that miso bringing umami and richness. Delicious. We're gonna start with peeling and trimming our butternut. We're gonna cut the squash in half so we could remove the seeds. This next step's pretty straightforward. We're gonna just dice the butternut squash. We're looking for roughly 6 cups. We don't need to be too precise because we're gonna roast them and we're gonna combine them with our liquid. And then of course we're gonna puree it. We're gonna hit it with just about a tablespoon of olive oil, enough to coat. And of course we're gonna season fairly generously with our kosher salt. We're gonna give a mix. Oven set at 425. Cooking for about 25 minutes. It's okay if the sheet pan's full. With the butternut squash in the oven, we're gonna get started on kind of like our soup base. So we have a yellow onion, slicing our onion nice and thin, 3 cloves of garlic, ginger for about a tablespoon, half for the soup, half for the garnish. Pan's nice and warm. Just enough oil to coat the bottom, tablespoon at most. We're gonna start with our onions, and we're just gonna lightly start to saute. Add our garlic and half of our ginger, and of course, a bay leaf. Butternut squash is out. Look at that, a little bit of color. It's all roasted. They almost taste candied, and I love how the texture really kind of consolidates when no moisture evaporates from the butternut squash. Okay, before we add the rest of the butternut squash, I need to catch you up with what's happening here. The reason I'm talking about it, instead of showing you, my battery died during the filming. I know, it happens. So we then added our bay leaf to that. We added a 1/4 teaspoon of curry powder. We sauteed those together. And then we added our miso paste, continuing to saute all over low heat. Seasoned with salt, of course. And then we added our cup or so of coconut milk, followed with our 2 cups of vegetable stock. It's easy, you got the picture. We sauteed all of our aromatics together. Now we're adding our roasted butternut squash. Basically, we're gonna simmer this for about 15 minutes. We're looking to bring all the flavors together, and there should be just enough liquid to cover our butternut squash. We're gonna lightly simmer, and while we're doing that, we're gonna make our garnish for the soup. I love this garnish for the soup. Let's start with cutting our chives very thinly. Pan over medium heat. Once again, just enough oil to toast the ginger, maybe 1.5 teaspoons. We need the oil to get fairly hot before we add the ginger. Go ahead and add our ginger. We're just gonna lightly toast the ginger. Turn the heat off. We're just gonna let the residual heat of the pan continue to lightly cook the ginger. We're gonna add some chili flakes. It's up to you how spicy you want it. It's a really nice contrast. It brings a nice little kick. We're gonna add our coconut milk. We're just gonna scrape the bottom of this pan, get all of that ginger off. Of course, we're gonna season it with some salt. We brought the cream down by about half. It's nice and thick. You can see it's kind of almost pulling back when we scrape the bottom of the pan. Everything's cool enough to add our chives. Our soup is definitely ready to be pureed. Everything's tender. I'm gonna remove that bay leaf now. So we're gonna place this in our high-speed blender. And we're gonna puree until velvety, smooth, and creamy. We're back from pureeing the soup. I did have to add roughly maybe 1.5 cups of vegetable stock when I was pureeing so that it would puree and be smooth. So at this point, this is a little bit about preference in how thick you like your soup. For me, this is looking like it could use a little bit of plant milk. And as we're reheating the soup, you will have to continually probably add a little bit of liquid to get it just right for your personal palate. So I'm gonna add 1/2 cup. Incorporate that. I think the color turned out absolutely amazing. Flavor is divine. I think we've really accomplished our goal today. Nothing left to do but take a bite. Delicious. I love when a recipe comes together. We have the butternut squash that we roasted. We have that miso bringing umami and richness. We have those hints of the curry powder bringing that little bit of perfume that's just like there but not there. And then of course we have the garnish of the coconut with the toasted ginger and the chives. Absolutely delicious bowl of soup. Perfect for this time of year. It's cold, it's warm and delicious. You should make it and eat it right now. And as always, I'll see you next week. Bye.